Hi, welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. The Grace of Kings is an epic fantasy steeped in the aesthetics of Han China, but drawing also on the intellectual traditions of the classical Mediterranean and the patriotic fervor of the early American Revolution. It is a book that is magisterial in its scope, and the first volume in a 4-volume series that looks in the long arc of generational change. And so now, with the final volume upon us, Speaking Bones, I found it the perfect time for me to reread The Grace of Kings and prepare for the grand finale. So, Speaking Bones, the final book, is available today, the 21st, but the entire series is available as well. So if you're somebody who likes to wait until a whole series is out to start with book 1, now's your chance. And I cannot recommend these books highly enough. Grace of Kings is, as I've said, the beginning of the series. It starts in a time of disorder and introduces us to the small island continent of Dara, where our narrative takes place, and also the two primary characters of the novel, Kunigaru, a wily gangster turned rebel, and the noble Matazindu, a deposed noble who seeks to reinforce the philosophical traditions of ancient Dara. These are wonderfully erudite novels, but also terribly exciting and driven by a technology, magical, almost magical technology. But what's really remarkable is that the author has taken a great deal of care in preparing these novels and the engineering of these novels, such that the various inventions, have been tested in miniature and tried out. So there's really this wonderful root in realism, even as there's this root in the mythological and epic poetry. They are just absolutely stunning novels, and ones that I am glad to celebrate here on Bar Cart Bookshelf. So, without any further ado, why don't we turn to this week's drink? So I had thought, as I was reading The Grace of Kings, to maybe seek out some baijiu. It's a primarily Chinese-made spirit distilled from sorghum, but it really doesn't have wide distribution in America yet. Really difficult to find here in Kentucky, where I'm at. And I also found that as I was reading, I was drawn more to some of the different flavors described in the novel, and especially the coconut arak that's drunk on an outlying island, Tan Adu, a sequence that really is a pivotal turning point for the novel, and one that stuck in my memory from when I first read this book in early January of 2016. So 8 years later, with that still sort of knocking around in my head, it really helped to shape today's drink. And without any further ado, why don't we start making the Splendid Urn, a shaken cocktail in honor of The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. So we're going to start with our base spirit. I am using a cachaça here. This is a sugarcane rum. It's Brazilian rum made from sugarcane juice, really grassy, really fresh. The primary classic cocktail, spill a little bit, of cachaça is a caipirinha, but we're going to do something just a little bit different here, or something radically different from the caipirinha. But it's going to bring a wonderful grassiness to our drink, and we're going to get an ounce of that in there. And to bring the coconut to our improvised coconut arak, I've got some Coco Real cream of coconut. Really great ingredient for pina coladas is the classic, but a fun one just to enjoy on these hot summer days. I, instead of using the jigger, will be using my bar spoon for this because it is a little bit thick here in the squeeze bottle, and having that bar spoon makes it just easier to deal with. So we're going to get 1 bar spoon of that down in there, and then we'll get a second bar spoon. It ends up being about 1/4 ounce, but again, because the cream of coconut is so viscous, having it on the spoon really does make a difference in getting it evenly distributed in your cocktail. Next, to brighten things up, we're going to get 1/2 ounce of fresh lime juice in there, just balancing things out, bringing a bit of brightness. And then got some mango nectar. So another of the outlying islands there in the western end of Dara is Arulugi, and there's a scene in the novel where they drink a mango liquor. And while it's hard to find mango liquor, the mango nectar is going to bring a bit of sweetness, a bit of balance, and a bit of brightness as well. It's going to do really wonderfully with the coconut, with the grassiness of that cachaça, and just really help to bring things all together. So we'll get 3/4 ounce of the mango nectar in there. And there we have it. 1 ounce of cachaça, 2 bar spoons of cream of coconut, 3/4 ounce of mango nectar, and 1/2 ounce of fresh lime juice to brighten things up. As always, adding our ice last. You want to stir that just a little bit to make sure you get every last little bit of the cream of coconut. You can even rub the ice on that spoon to help distribute that. But we'll give it a little stir. Lovely, lovely. And set that aside. Now we'll get our ice in, which is going to cook our cocktail, the chef's flame of the cocktail world. Get a couple of ice cubes in there. Wonderful. Big tin. Pop that on there and shake it up, wake it up. There we go. Nice and frosty, just like we expect. Give it a stout tap to open things back up. Wonderful. Wonderful. And our Hawthorne strainer. I'll get our Nick and Nora glass here. Simple, elegant, very clean presentation, and strain with ease right into there. There you go. So there you have it. This is the Splendid Urn, a shaken cocktail in honor of the Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. The entire Dandelion Dynasty, which begins with the Grace of Kings, is available now. Got a link to snag book 1 down below. I am just finishing up my reread of book 2 in anticipation of diving into book 3 and then book 4 later this afternoon. Try the drink. Let me know what you think. We got links to the Boston Shaker, where we get all our tools and ingredients, to Twitter and Instagram, where there's always a written version of the recipe. Remember to hit that little bell in the corner so you never miss an episode. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Until next time, cheers.